Welcome back to Three Things with JR. We are in Season 5, Episode number 21, and overall that makes this the 159th episode of this show. Only a couple more shows left to do this year, 2024. Going to wrap it up and then begin Season 6 in early 2025. And I don't know how much time I'm going to have to devote to this show as the Wizard of Oz. It's already taken over my life for the last several months, but we are kicking it into overdrive starting tomorrow, Sunday the 18th. I'm recording this on Saturday night, November 17th. Tomorrow, Sunday, is our double tech day, which means I will be there for pretty much 12 hours straight, rehearsing the entire show 2 times through, actually putting costumes on for the first time, and really, shit's getting real now. And we open this coming Friday. Previews on Thursday night, opening night Friday night, and opening night is kind of a big night. It's like an expensive ticket. It's all sold out, but there are a total of 16 performances with plenty of tickets available. And I promise you, you may think you know The Wizard of Oz, but you have not seen The Wizard of Oz like this. And the less you know about our interpretation of this classic movie, the better. And just show up and see what's happening, because it is nothing like anything you've ever seen before. I just guarantee you that. And I couldn't be more excited to be a part of it and for you to see it. But the point of that was that we're about to go into Tech Week and shows, and we will have tech and shows from now until December 15th. With only a few days off, like some Mondays and Tuesdays and Wednesdays and a Thanksgiving Day and stuff like that. That's all we're gonna have off as we start doing the show. So there may or may not be an episode of this show in that time. I do feel like there will be a Small Things Considered, but I can't even guarantee that. I don't know. So hopefully we can find the time to record, edit, and produce these 2 shows for your listening entertainment. Please go check us out. Come see the show, Wizard of Oz. Go to livearts.org for tickets. It's on the downtown mall in Charlottesville, so make it a fun night out for you and whoever you can bring with you. I promise you will have a good time. Before I get into things, I got a couple other things to talk about. Blue Sky. I posted on Facebook the other day that and I've seen a bunch of other people posting that they are joining Blue Sky. And if you don't know what that is, it is a social media website, an app designed to basically be what Twitter was, but is no longer. And so far, it seems like now that I'm on there, it seems like it's a bunch of smart, nice people posting cool shit. Yes, everybody there hates what Elon Musk has done to Twitter, but we're not like I don't know. We don't talk much about that. I think we mostly are just celebrating the Blue Sky community and all of that it has to offer so far, rather than like just shitting on Twitter the whole time. So it's nice. It's fun. I've created 3 accounts. I went ahead and grabbed one for myself. What is it about jr.bsky.social? I think you put a little @ before that. I'm still figuring that part out. I think that's how you find people. The @ what is it about jr.bsky.social. And every time I see BSKY, which is kind of like the shorthand version of their name, right? The name of the app is Blue Sky. but the web address or the handle is BSKY. And every time I see BSKY, I just think Besky. So when I say Besky, that's what I'm talking about. What is it about jr.besky.social? I also went ahead and grabbed one for the podcast that I do with Gary, smallthingspod.besky.social. And I grabbed one for the band before anybody else could do it. To be fair, TOBEFARE, tobefair.besky.social. And don't have a ton of stuff posted there, mostly posting on my personal one, What Is It About JR? But we will start to add in, podcast content and band stuff, especially as the bands and the new albums start to get closer to something we can share with you. So check me out on Blue Sky, Besky, and come join the fun. It seems to be growing. I didn't join it right away when I heard about it, although it sounded interesting. I waited to see who of my friends on Facebook were going to join, and I used that as my barometer for how legit is it. Is it just another fly-by-night, Twitter competitor sort of a thing, or is it for real? And millions more people have been joining just since I joined a few days ago, and it seems to be catching on, and it seems to be the anti-Twitter, the anti-Musk. There's not a whole lot of politics going on there. At least I haven't seen them. I bet if I went searching them out, I would see a whole bunch of political posts, but it hasn't been thrust upon me yet. When you sign up, you click a bunch of buttons that go with your interests, music, news. There is a politics button, sports, books, art, whatever science, whatever you're interested in. And so far, I didn't click politics as a thing I'm interested in. So I don't know how much politics there is on there, but I haven't seen any, which is really, really nice. And I'm definitely spending more time scrolling through Blue Sky than I am scrolling through Facebook these days. And it's just nice. So maybe come over and join Blue Sky. And maybe I'll see you there. Okay, I got things. Let's do them. Thing number one. So this thing one is, it's going to be, I'm going to read it, and I haven't proofread this. Here's what I've got. I wrote this out. I didn't write it out. I spoke it out. I was having a thought while driving a car the other day, and the thought was about the car I was driving, and I didn't want to lose it, but I didn't want to type it while I was driving, and I didn't want to forget about it when I got home, because when I get home, I get out of the car and I forget everything that I was thinking about while I was driving. So I spoke this into my phone and into the Notes app, and Siri or whatever, the phone transcribes it for you, and what I'm going to do is read that blindly. I've got it. I've got my notes from my phone here on my computer. I'm looking at it, but I haven't proofread it. I'm going to read it verbatim. So we'll be doing a couple things here. I'll be sharing a thought about a car with you, and we'll see how well did it capture what I was trying to say, and how well did I explain what I was trying to say. We will find out together. Again, I have not read this since I spoke it into my phone. Here we go. I have forgotten what it's like to drive an old American car. I had that opportunity recently when I dropped my girlfriend's car off to get some work done at the shop, and it wasn't ready by the end of the day like they promised, so they gave me a loaner car, which was a late 90s Ford Taurus. Now, when I think of bigger, older American cars, to me, that's cars from the late 70s and the 80s. So this car isn't exactly old like I think of it, but it's ancient compared to the cars I drive on a regular basis today. And just getting in it feels different, smells different, it looks different, and it's very nostalgic for me. The Ford green lights on the radio and on the instrument cluster. The radio is the original factory radio. It plays CDs. But I'm just listening to local radio, which I have not listened to local radio in many, many years. The speakers suck. The sound is thin and kind of awful, just like it was in every stereo in every car I owned previous to working at Crutchfield. The headlights are nowhere near as bright as the headlights on every vehicle I've owned in the last 20 years. It's almost unsafe to be driving at night on country roads, which I am doing right now as I speak this voice text into my phone. I do love the humongous volume knob on the radio and the very analog controls of the HVAC system and the armrest in the middle. The drink holders that are too small for large cups that we have today. I love the turn signal and how it feels when you are actually clicking it into a left or right blinker situation. But even more, I love how it feels when you turn on the high beams. Nope, check that. I just checked, and to turn the high beams on, you do have to push instead of pull. I liked it when you just pulled for high beams, almost as much as I liked the foot switch, which I had in my first car and my second car. My first car was a 1980 Buick LeSabre. My second car was a 1981 Pontiac Le Mans. This really makes me want to get an older, bigger, heavy American sedan from the late 80s or the mid 90s, like a Chevy Caprice or a Ford LTD or Crown Vic. I would love to drive around a big rear-wheel drive tank of a car just for fun. So that's the end of what I spoke into my phone that night, and I mean, it was just a Ford Taurus, but it did invoke all of this nostalgia in me as I was driving it. And it really did start with the smell. When I opened the door and got in, I was like, oh, this is a smell, a good smell from many, many years ago. This is how cars used to smell. And I just loved it. And really the only troubling thing with it was the headlights. They were so dim. Like those older Ford headlights that got all foggy, they were bad. I had to turn the brights on just to really feel like I could see things. I was so worried I was going to hit a deer. No, I would love to have back my first car, that 1980 Buick LeSabre. That Pontiac Le Mans, not so much. That thing sucked. But the LeSabre was fantastic. A big, it's like a Chevy Caprice, except the Buick version of that. And it was a big eight cylinder engine, V8, with a 4-barrel carburetor. I didn't know what that meant then. I don't know what that means now. I'm not that much of a car guy, but I knew then that people were impressed. Somebody told me it had a 4-barrel carburetor, so I always told that to other people, and they were like, oh, man. And it had a lot of power. I could easily burn rubber in that thing. And my favorite thing to do in that car was to go out to the fields behind the school, my high school, George Mason, up in Falls Church, rest in peace. You could drive behind the school on this little curvy road, but you could then leave the curvy road and be in the fields, like the soccer fields and the practice fields behind the school. And my friends and I, who I won't name in case they don't want everybody to know this, we used to go do donuts in those fields, especially when it was muddy and just the smell of the burning mud on the bottom of the car was great. But that big, huge rear-wheel drive American car from the 80s, it would be hard to do that. What we did with that car, it would be hard to do that with today's cars unless you had something specially outfitted to do that. So I want one. I want one bad. A big old Crown Vic or Chevy Caprice. Those would be my two choices. So if you know somebody that has an old American car like that, hit me up. Hit me up on the DMs over there on Facebook or Blue Sky, or just send an email to 3thingswithjr@gmail.com. Cool, there you go. That's it on the vehicle. That's it for thing one. It's time for
Thing number two.
I'm currently really into the show Shrinking. I'm not 100% sure, but I think I may have used this as a thing too a year or so ago when Shrinking season 1 was on. It was excellent then, and it has only gotten better with season 2 that is coming out I think it's Wednesday. This on Apple TV Plus, and it's no wonder why it's a good show. It is basically produced by the same people that do Ted Lasso. The guy that plays Roy Kent on Ted Lasso, Brett Goldstein, is I think maybe the main guy writing this show, and so it's got a lot of the same feels and emotions and sensibilities, and I mean even the theme song is kind of similar. It's fantastic. So here's the basic premise. Jason Segel is the main guy. He plays a psychiatrist, and he is dealing with some shit of his own. His wife has been killed in a drunk driving accident. A drunk driver killed her. So he and his daughter are dealing with that, and not dealing with it all that great. And he's a psychiatrist, so he's helping other people deal with their shit, and he's going through a lot of his own shit. And it comes to a head in the first episode, and he decides to stop doing therapy the conventional way. He decides to stop following all of the rules that therapists are supposed to follow, and he starts doing some innovative, interesting, different sort of therapy. What is the word? Therapy, things. He helps people in ways that therapists don't normally help people. And his boss is played by Harrison Ford, is a by the book sort of therapist who is not too happy with Jimmy, Jason Segel's character, doing these very experimental, ill-advised techniques for therapy. And some of these techniques really do help his clients, his patients, and other ones backfire badly. We get to meet his crazy neighbor and the other therapist at the practice, and that's your main cast of characters, along with some of his patients. It's just great. And I will tell you, it was great in season 1, and season 2, it's even better. It's rare for me to watch an episode of season 2 and not get all teary-eyed. The second season is hitting me super hard in the feels, and I don't even have any reason to. And I'm specifically avoiding spoiling anything for you here. So, but it's not like I have anything in common with the two particular characters that every time they are on screen together, what they are going through gets me every time. Literally, body shaking, tearing up, mouth quivering. I am emotionally wrecked by these scenes, and it's crazy. And I mean, in the same episode that I'm laughing out loud at the hilarity of the show, I really think it's the writing and the acting performances, because again, I don't have anything common with these people. It's not like they're experiencing things that have had experience with, and I'm not having that kind of emotional connection. I'm having the emotional connection to how well they are conveying the emotion of this situation. It is very much for real for them. It's so well done. And on top of that, the show's hilarious. Plus Harrison Ford. I mean, why are you not watching Shrinking? Unless you are, and then you know what I'm talking about.
Thing number 3.
All right. Why isn't AI, artificial intelligence, helping more? I think there's some basic ways AI could help companies be smarter, because they're missing things. I'm going to give you a few examples recently of things that happened that I thought, why did they do that? They should have known better. I finished an Audible book, an audiobook on Audible, and I started my next Audible book literally immediately after finishing the first one, or the book I was listening to. The new book is Stephen King's The Stand, which I realize is an old book, but I've never read it or listened to it before. It is a 47-hour listening experience, and I'm only like an hour and a half in. But so Audible knows full well that I listen to audiobooks pretty much every day while I'm driving. I get about an hour of listening in almost every day. And it knows that I just finished a book, and it knows that I'm an hour into a new book. And the very next morning, I get an email from Audible telling me to keep my listening streak alive and figure out a new book to listen to. I'm an Audible member. I pay every month. I get a credit, which equals a book every month. And I've been subscribed now for several years. And like I said, I've just finished a book and started a new one, and they're sending me an email suggesting that I go find a new book to listen to. Why would they do that? Why don't they know that I just started a new book? Why doesn't, I mean, they do. They know I started a new book because they send me an email every week telling me how many minutes I read last week. But why would they imply that I need a new book to listen to? They know I don't. I don't even have any credits right now. My next credit for the next month hasn't shown up yet. So I guess they want me to go pay for another book. I've got 48 hours of book to listen to. It's going to be a while before I need another book to listen to. So why doesn't the algorithm that sends me my email with my summary of my listening tell the other email, hey, don't bother recommending a new book. He's covered. That seems like something that maybe that requires actual intelligence, but I think maybe that's a use for AI from a corporate company sort of commercial standpoint. I've got another one. This one seems to me even stupider. I ordered a pair of shoes from Nike.com using the app on their phone. On my phone. And the reason I ordered it, I had already become a member. I've been trying to get my third pair of these Nike Zoom X shoes that are the most comfortable shoes I've ever owned. I had a pair for about a year. They were getting kind of ratty. I bought a new pair last year, and I went back to buy a third pair in the store, and they didn't have them in my size. And so I went on to the Nike thing and downloaded the app and signed up, and now I get freaking Nike emails on the regular now. And one of the emails they sent starts off with a big block at the top that says, treat yourself, and use the promo code treat yourself for 25% off. And I thought, hell yeah, 25% off. Shoes are not cheap, and I'm addicted. So that seems like a good idea. And so scroll down in the email, and there's click through blocks showing things to buy, and it's like tracksuits and shoes. And I thought the shoe in that picture looks awesome. Looks like what I want. It was the Nike Air Max 90. Turned out, by the way, not the shoe I wanted. Horrible. Looks great. Looks cool. Most uncomfortable shoe I've ever owned. But that's not the point here. The point is, the email gave me a promo code, told me to save 25% off with it, and some shoes. And so I clicked on the shoes. It takes me to the website or the app. I chose, there's like 12 different colors of this shoe to choose from. I chose the blue and the white. I chose my size. I ordered them. I went to the proceed to checkout, and I get there and enter the treat yourself promo code, and it doesn't work. And I reached out via chat on their app, and Timothy A., who was the very nice guy who answered my chat, informed me that that code doesn't work on that color, that style number of that shoe. It works on some colors, not all the colors. Why would they put a shoe in the email right next to the promo code that you can't use the promo code on? It seems like AI could have helped them craft an email where everything in the email could be discounted with the code in the email. But Nike's stupidity or lack of intelligence doesn't stop there. I ordered those shoes, the Nike Air Max 90s, and I ordered them in the evening, so it was too late for them to ship that day. So the next day, I get 2 emails from Nike. One of the emails says, my shoes have shipped, and they will be there tomorrow. They were only shipping from Pennsylvania to Virginia, so that made sense. 1-day shipping, free shipping, but they were on their way out of the door, and I would have them tomorrow. And the other email I got from Nike, they both came in pretty close to the same time because I read them back to back. The other email asked me, how do I like my new shoes? They know I don't have them yet. And they're asking me, do you think they're comfortable? How do they make you feel? What did you think when you first saw them? It's like a survey with a whole bunch of questions about how much I like the shoes that they know I don't have yet. God, I just wish it was smarter. It seems like it could be. All right, that's it. That's the show. Thank you so much for listening to 3 Things with JR. I'll be back next week on Small Things Considered with my good buddy Gary. We are super excited not to be talking about the election anymore. I have a feeling we won't be able to avoid talking about all of the stupidity that is happening since. That might be a thing. So we'll see. Check us out next week for Small Things Considered. For now, though, thanks again for listening. I'll see you then. See you when. I don't know. I'll see you later. Have a good one. Peace out. I love you. Shut up, JR. The show is over.
It's a brand new day. It's a brand new day.
The show wasn't really over. I'm still here. I have one more half of a thing. I'll call it thing 3.5. And those of you that listen past the theme song at the end, this is a special treat for you. Tonight, I had an embarrassing thing happen. I failed as a man. I failed as a tech enthusiast. I failed as a father. And I felt stupid. And here's what happened. My daughter is here. Allison is here visiting, spending the night. She got work in the morning, and my house is closer to her work than where she lives, so she's staying here. And I went outside to take the trash out, and I noticed that her dome light was on in her car. And I thought, that's not good. I know that a dome light can kill a battery, so I opened the door. It was unlocked. And she's got 2 dome lights, like a driver's side and a passenger side, like shine down right up there in the front. And they were both on. And I look up and I see this switch. And I move the switch and it turns one dome light off, but not the other one. I thought that's weird. And the switch does not do any. It's just a 2-position switch. Both lights, one light. Makes no sense. So there's 2 other buttons right there next to the switch that I thought, okay, those 2 buttons might turn on these, specific dome lights. And so I pushed them, I pulled them. You couldn't pull them, but I pushed them. I tried to slide them. Nothing seemed to work. I realized she had a sunroof, so that those 2 buttons I was thinking probably controls the sunroof. So I looked around and could not find any other buttons or switches or anything to turn those dome lights off. I closed the doors. I watched for a little bit and it didn't go off. So I went inside and had to wake her up and say, hey, your dome light's on. I can't figure out how to turn it off. She said, oh, it's probably just that the back driver's side door is probably open or not closed all the way. That's probably why the lights didn't go off. I said, oh, well, that makes sense. I didn't try that. It didn't look like it wasn't closed all the way, but I went back out and I closed all 4 doors tight, nice and tight, and the dome lights stayed on. So I went back in and said, hey, the dome lights are still on and I don't know what to do to turn them off. So she got out of bed, put her shoes on. By the way, she's wearing Crocs. So this is another unrelated thing that makes me feel like I have failed as a parent, but whatever. She comes outside. I go out with her, and she tells me, well, you didn't hit the switches. And it was those two buttons. The two buttons I found that I touched. I thought I moved them. I couldn't make them do anything to turn the dome lights off. I thought they were sunroof controls. They're not. You just got to push harder or something. But me as a car person, I've taken the interiors of cars apart and put them back together to do stereo installations. I think I generally understand these things pretty well. I feel like you could put me in almost any car and I could figure out how the dome light turns on and off. But I couldn't figure this one out. Now, I felt like apologizing that I made her get out of bed, that she should be able to count on me for things like this. This is what dads are supposed to do. 50-year-old dads of adult children should be able to help them with their car, even with the most basic things. And I couldn't do that. Bummed. All right, you can go now. I'll see you next week.